strongly say that Bali Congress, in pressing New Delhi, IAS, the public administration open country has to minimize constant perform innovation and maintain sustainability. This IAS perspective. Within Asia Pacific, Bali Congress in overcoming global inequality employ or offer strategic research in public administration to form crucially strengthen value, ethics, and integrity, democratization, decentralization, and application of good governance values and principles. My public administration, public policy in economic, finance, as well as policy in real sector economy, industry, agriculture, energy, and service sector. Cooperation and coordination among nations, as well as increasing higher level of welfare in a nation, and the high standard of competency and interdisciplinary approach in education and training program in public administration. What option for my country and probably be considered for other countries from Indonesia? To respond to inequality and challenge of unity, Indonesia blends three development programs, namely pro-growth, pro-job, and pro-food, which are known as quality growth, and compatibly with the three paradigms in public administration, namely classical or old public administration paradigm, new public services, and new public management. In that regard, Indonesia termed human economic democracy, a kind of mixed economic system that proportionally and productively use market mechanism and public policy and actualize good governance principle to steer and to serve high quality of growth and to create sustainable development process, as well as perform public accountability. Public administration is perceived as an integrating discipline and system of building national human cooperation from actors in societal, political, and economic systems in order to adjust their orientation of the system, which is usually rational orientation and self-interest oriented to be more common welfare for all oriented. Secondly, it was designed to resolve multi-dimensional challenge in all fields of life and natural environment. In the back regard, Indonesian national philosophy as stipulated in the preamble of its constitution as by principle, namely, believe in God, in one God. Asata remind us that Protestant ethics when European start the early industrialization. And Indonesian principle of philosophy is also, second one is humanity. Unity, democracy, and welfare.
Vamos, I'm sorry to remind you, because in order to equal also to the proportion of the rest is continuing.
This means the five principles have to be consistently adopted is the problem. As value gathered in managing government and development, either the choosing paradigm, setting development strategy and managing government and development, or achieving the nation goal and objective, or developing political, economic, and administrative. The last slide, the existence of public administration as a system cannot stand alone as there are political system and economic system working with possibly different value system and way of thinking as that of public administration system, either in a nation, state, or in a nation among nations. Those said human cooperation carries combined international cooperation as a way of thinking and of doing among ethnic, political, and economic system, as well as public system, would be unlimited energy that can transform public administration to be a form of human civilization that is able to operationalize its role as integrating system of national human cooperation in managing public policy and services for realizing property and happiness of the people of the world. Thank you.
Terima kasih Pak Host sudah memberikan papernya dan sangat menarik dengan definisinya dan juga beberapa kiat-kiat Indonesia seperti ada projo, propor dan seterusnya. Mesdames et messieurs, maintenant c'est le temps pour discuter ce qui nous avons déjà entendu depuis une heure et demie. Parce que le temps est limité, je voudrais demander au comité s'ils ont accordé 30 minutes de retard. Voilà. Ok, 30 menit ya. Silakan, s'il vous plaît, si il y a des comments, you have comment, you have the question, donation to us, and then also please identify your name. Please. Yes.
Okay, yeah, I have a question right here. I'd like to thank the panelists for those interesting presentations. However, different Republicans, they would be severely against those views. So my question is, different views and different cultures do not have to be in conflict. However, in history, they have generated very prolonged and the most violent conflicts. Now, the formation of the United Nations after the Second World War helped us to maintain world peace for a few decades. However, that's considered the dominance of a Western political culture. With today's globalization, many countries now are developed and have newly gained confidence in themselves. So they look back into their own roots for new confidence and cultural dimensions. And that's the trend of Asianization, Hinduization, re-Islamization, and rationalization. Now, Huntington once talked about the source of clash civilizations. They say with the global center.
Sorry, can you?
Yeah, my question right now is how should we really address the real conflicts between those cultures? And I'd like to ask the panelists, what are the new strategies you have to deal with those diversity issues in a globalizing world? Thank you.
Thank you. I think
all these cultures, they are dynamic, and these are dynamic changes. So, culture doesn't mean some fixed ideas. Culture is a set of values which keep on changing, as the time goes on. And therefore, I think all the cultures have to find new answers. You can't have old thinking, and you can't have, can't use for solving new problems. And therefore, what I would say is that this has happened all through the ages. This is not new. What you say globalization today, what they yesterday in different form. The only thing is that there's a challenge and not new answers. Now, these answers, again, cannot be something which are permanent and fixed. They will, as you rightly told, they will differ from place to place, from time to time, and from situation.
okay, and then Professor Joseph, you have any
change the culture is growing biological organism, and it needs to adapt in a biological environment. That environment is the global world.
Thank you. This is very rare. A long question, but the answer is very short. It's very rare. Normally, and bagus apa yang bagus? Yes. You also short answer.
I have what we call national symbol. We call it unity in diversity. It means that we have multi-ethnic, more than say 200. And we have, look like the word, 17,000 islands. The way is we ought to integrate them. Like we have to integrate our opinion over to human beings of the world through dialogues and building consensus in global culture. We should define through this form of thinking.
Yes, also very short. Okay, no problem. En dit en français, les réponses sont très efficaces. On va continuer. Y a-t-il des questions? Madame, s'il vous plaît.
Il nous y a encouragé. Merci, Monsieur le Président.
Vous avez le droit, madame, parce qu'en IAS, il y a deux langues officielles, c'est français et anglais. La prochaine fois, il y a 3 cuissons langues, c'est avec l'indonésien, en fait.
Merci, Monsieur le Président. J'ai écouté avec beaucoup d'intérêt les différents intervenants sur leur vision en ce qui concerne la culture, mais la culture adaptée, si je puis dire, si j'ai bien compris, à un certain type de management dans l'administration publique. En les écoutant, plusieurs questions me sont venues à l'esprit. Je me suis demandé si, à travers ces différentes expériences, nous n'avons pas fait un amalgame, peut-être sans le vouloir, entre culture et savoir-vivre et savoir-faire. Il y a ici, je pense, une distinction à prendre en considération. Aussi, je me suis posé cette question, mais là, peut-être que je n'aurai pas de réponse, d'autant plus, comme vous avez dit, elles sont tellement courtes. Est-ce que les pouvoirs en place, les régimes en place, sont souvent, soit qu'ils utilisent à leur profit, à la culture, et donc on revient à une certaine réappropriation des habitudes culturelles pour légitimer certains pouvoirs, soit que parfois, et l'exemple chinois est très important ici, que l'on revienne à une culture pour détruire, pour en construire une autre sur la base d'autres croyances, des croyances politiques, mais aussi, comme vient de le dire ici la question, ça peut être basé aussi sur l'aspect ethnique et religieux. C'est juste des questionnements, je n'attends pas des réponses, mais je voudrais les partager avec vous. Merci.
Merci, il y a des commentaires. That's related with your presentation also. How did China change the constitution?
I didn't follow quite well, but I noticed that question is about some official, strategy to use culture as as a move to legitimize. But to me, I think maybe we have, if you look at the history and also if you look around about this new world of developments, but I can see many times there is some kind of cultural connections between different culture and different country. But to me, I mentioned some of the Chinese way to promote Chinese culture, but I think the official ideology is not in defensive role, because when we set up many Confucius school around the world, what we try to do is promote the traditional Chinese culture. By traditional Chinese Chinese culture, I think the key elements is about the harmony, tolerance, all these kind of things. Not so that's aggressive. So that's my answer. Okay.
Okay. Yes, Pak Rodan, please. Silakan, Pak.
Thank you, Chairman. My name is Nyaman Rulana Kordali, one of party. How about the public administration for all the country? Because we know our public administration is what we call is have to be renewed or innovation, and then we include the hand of the God, or the spirit of the human, because the spirit of the human is very universal. So, for the scientific, in this time, I would like to say, we include the hand of the God, or the spirit of the humanity in innovation of what we call public administration. Thank you.
I think it's time about human spirit and also God makes it relevant for you. Please, you answer this question.
Thank you very much. I was told more human spirit, but not spirit. I think good. I think the answer again I think very straight and very simple. In public administration, I think the focus should be from public to administration. And I think the need today, I think for all of us, is to think of a new form, not reform. We are talking about reforming here. I don't think reform is a very patchwork. And if all of us are here just to reform, I don't think we need to be here. Rightly, I think my friend, I think he talked about globalization. Whole set of new things have come up. We have now new technology, we have new way of living, we have new constitutions, all new kind of education. In these things, there is a need now to have a new form of public administration. I don't think reform can take us anywhere, and I think you rightly, I think it's a very good question in a way. We should come back, our focus must get shifted to, we should come back to basics, and the basics is people, not administration. Let us, I think, nurture people. If we think that we master people, I don't think we need to administration. So public administration is there, as Mahatma Gandhi told, a very, very important thing. Same thing Lincoln told us. All great people have told us one thing, and that one thing is trusteeship. I think somebody told, I think Professor Goye was talking that people take power but they don't give it up. I think very, very important operation. You should understand, for all of us, you in your position, me in my position, we are there just to deliver. Our positions are there from people for some time. And if you think that position is permanent and people are not, we are committing a very, very great mistake. That's very, very sad.
Thomas, your perspective for this very interesting question?
Thank you. Say how we can recognize Indonesian culture. You say that humanity is one of our principles. Say God and human welfare. How to apply it in government policy? We might use that human values, says welfare for all people and humanity, and also democratic principle in choosing the economic paradigm that will be used for designing strategy, for instance. And I think this year we can say what paradigm that will be consistent with Indonesian philosophy. Say human development index, and also say sustainable development is part of the paradigm that can be proved as consistent with the human values. And how we decide strategy and implement it, it can be through democratic ways in which there are some political values like liberty, ownership, and also, of course, welfare for all. responsibility of any individual or group of individual to take initiative for improving their faith in this life.
Thank you, Pak Mustafa. I think one more question in the right side. Satu kali pertanyaan.
That they come from India, Indonesia, China, and South Africa. What do these countries have in common? They are all members of the G20. That's important. But it also means that they are the new leaders of the South and of the world. Most of the presentations have been focused on individual, unique, national cultures. And that's good, but it's also worrisome. It worries me because I've not heard about how you will use your national cultures to provide global leadership in the new roles that you are being cast in. And I'd like to hear some comments, for example, from South Africa, the only African country in the G20. We've got plenty in Asia, including Indonesia. China, focusing on uniqueness, but also not very clear in terms of what the essence of the national culture is. My real concern is, are we ready to draw on our national cultures to provide the challenges of global economy and public administration that we are being asked to? Thank you.
Thank you. I think, because this is the end of the session, I would like also to invite, please.
Just a very simple comment. It's not really a question. My name is Raghib Shams from Bahrain, from the Institute of Public Administration. Just to bring things together, I think if we take trees as countries or nations, and roots, their roots are as their culture, and the soul as the history of whether the political, economic, or social. And we will all see today that mighty trees will only grow in its own roots. They have to have deep roots to grow properly with the right soil. So this is one of the essences that we got over here, and we are in the Middle East. We keep thinking of that the cultures of other countries are better than ours. But the essence over there, as we have already seen, that each and every nation, each and every country have their own cultures which they should be not just proud of, but they need to cultivate to ensure that their public administration, their economy, and their society builds on it. And this is where we see mighty trees live together in one forest, whether interdependent or independent. And this is where the world is. Thank you.
Thank you. I think Professor Kuye, there's a first question.
African country that was part of the Industrial Revolution, not by design, but it's historical. Now, if you look at the premise of my speech, I talk of continental Africa. The issue, what role is South Africa playing in continental Africa? Peacekeeping efforts, administrative justice, the legal systems of nation state, economy, trade, diplomacy. I think continentally, as part of a regional debate, South Africa is performing well. However, within the confines of the G20, remember, it's by invitation and not by design. Thank you.
Anyone want to